There we go. The recording started. We're ready to go. Today we're going to be going over order blocks or order cocks, however you want to look at it. It could be either way. It's however you want to remember them as. Either an order block or an order cock. They're both big, they're both large, and they both have a lot of impact. So, we can dive in to the lesson. Thank you to TJR for calling them order cocks because that's just what sticks. But as you see in the charts, just looking at Sol, I want to go over first what we kind of found out today. Hold on. Yep. Okay. So today in our morning live stream, we called out exactly what we wanted to see. We had 2 points of liquidity. Obviously, there's heavier liquidity up here that I'm still waiting on. I still think it has some possibilities of getting up there. Instead, we grabbed this liquidity right here. So as we were in our morning live, what, at 10:30? So right here, this is where price was. Literally, look at this liquidity sweep and look at it bounce off of it. I caught this all the way down. I'm up just shy of 2 grand today. So great day in the market. But again, called it out beautifully. This is why we want to do these morning lives. This is why we want to share our signals due to the fact that it played out just how I wanted it to. It was beautiful. Um, One thing I wanted to look for is an order cock. Order block, sorry. They're just on my mind. We're going to go over it first right here. I'm going to pull out my little handy dandy drawer. So, what is an order block? Let's first go over what it is. Sus? No, 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 bro. It's not. It's not sus. Okay, it's only sus if you make it sus. Okay, an order block is prior to a break of structure. So you need to know what a break of structure is first, which we went over before. A break of structure is when, let's say, we're on an uptrend. It's a break of that. Pretty much, you got this uptrend. You get a break of structure, which could mean two things. It could be grabbing liquidity to make a higher move up, or it could be starting a new trend, which could be to the downside, could be the upside, whatever it is, whatever is opposite. All right. So that is a break of structure. Now that we know what a break of structure is, what is an order block, you must ask? An order block is something like this. Okay, no, that is not an order block. That would be called an order cock. Okay, back to what I was saying. An order block would be the move prior to the break of structure. So if we're in an uptrend, and hold on, really got to skip this ad. This is really killing the vibe right now. Okay, so we got an uptrend. An order block is the move prior to the break of structure. Whoops. Right here. So where would the order block be on here? It would be the move up before the break of structure. So what that's telling me is this would be the order block, which I like to have in red. So now what this is saying is there's a lack of buyers in this area. And if price revisits this area and sees selling pressure out of it, we're looking to take a short. Because that's showing that it came up and filled those orders and reversed out of it. So this is one of our confirmations that we can trade from once we get another either liquidity sweep, whether we get a, fair value gap. All in all, this is one of the confirmations, a key confirmation that we like to use. And I'll show you one that happened earlier. But again, does everyone understand what I mean by the prior move before the break of structure? Can we get a thumbs up if everyone's following me right now? Or did I leave you back in the order cock? Okay, good. So, we're going to do this again from the start. For all of you guys that were sleeping and dreaming of something other than an order block. So, what we have here again, would be, let's say, shoot, why can't I find this drawing tool again? Am I tripping? Bro, I must be like really. Oh, it's in this one. Yeah, brush. Okay, so let's say we're in a downtrend this time. Oh, that's a horrible start to a downtrend. Boom, 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 and then we get a boom, boom, boom. Where would this order block be? Let's think. It's just a move prior. So some of people, without knowing what an actual true um, order block is, would say that this is the move right here. This is not an order block. It's just the previous move before the break of structure. So it'd actually be right here. So now let's say price comes down and revisits it and we get some buying power out of it, buying pressure. Good place to start for a long, especially if it's in a fair value gap. It's also a sweep of liquidity here. Let's say that this was a key level. There's liquidity back here in the past, sweeps it. We also get a break of structure, which creates an order block. Price comes into it, grabs some liquidity, heads out. It's pretty dang simple if you just don't overcomplicate it. You know, that's the number one thing, is don't overthink what this is. So it's the move prior to a break of structure. So let's really look on a chart now. So we're in an uptrend right here, right? Boom, 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 boom. Uh-oh. Oh no. I spot something. And it's not an order cock, it's an order block. So this move right here, prior to the upside, this green wave right here, would be an order block. You know what's really weird here, and I didn't say this when I took a starter because I already did my analysis for the day. Do you guys see what happened here? So we get a close outside of it, right? Boom, perfect place for a short. What about this ad though? Reject out of this order block. This is a perfect example of an order block that was traded today. Price came up to revisit it to see if we can maybe build back above this and continue going. But oh wait, there's something large in the way, and that's called an order block. You thought I was going to say something else. But this is an order block because we took the move prior to the break of structure. Because the break of structure is right here on this candle because it closed lower than the bottom of this move so far. Does everybody follow me so far? Is this entertaining to you? Is this something you guys can understand right now? Or am I just totally speaking nonsense to you? I need some more reactions, some more comments. What's everyone thinking? Definitely entertaining. Okay, perfect. That's the goal. You know, we're not trying to be boring here. So the order block occurs after the break of structure, correct? So the order block, it's just like a fair value gap. It's just an area where there's a lack of seller or buyers. So what this is saying is that there weren't enough buyers to push this up to continue the trend. It's saying it was a weak little move before the break of structure because there was just too much selling pressure that reversed it and ended up breaking the structure. So if price revisits here, most likely there's still not enough buyers in this area, and there's still sellers to be, there's still sell orders that the market maker wants to push up into these areas to get filled in this particular scenario. So boom, we get a down. Now we're in a downtrend. Now you see we're in a big downtrend because we just caught this move all the way down. So when do we get a break of structure? Oh, not yet. Oh, we get a break of structure right there. So technically, this right here would be an order block. But just to show you guys, order blocks don't always work. Because again, it's just one of the confirmations. We don't just trade order blocks. We don't just trade fair value gaps. We don't just trade a break of structure. We don't just trade any one thing. There has to be multiple. And this is just one thing that you can pair with multiple. So again, we see right here, though, we see the pressure out of it. But again, the market wanted to continue down, and we don't blame it. So what do we get? We get shoot, what's it called, Jimmy? I'm really blanking here. Um oh my gosh, it's not an inverse order block. What are they called? Um Breaker block. That's the word I'm looking for. We have a breaker block. Now it's pretty much an inverse fair value gap. So if you guys want to call it an inverse order block, same thing. Now this order block, instead of being bullish, is now bearish because we closed inside. And what do we get here? Literally 2 candles later, we get priced to come back in to retest to see, do we get enough orders this time? Well, it turns out we don't, because look at that, rejected right out of it. So this is something you just want to look out for, because again, let's say, oh my gosh, I'm looking to take a long or something, which I hope you're not. But again, you know that this order block's here, which means there's orders to be filled in that space. That's kind of the main thing of an order block. I need to skip this song. It's really not feeling it. What's up? Right here or right here? Both? Dude, look at this one. This is the one I said first.
Liquidity sweep, another like textbook setup. 2 back-to-back textbook short setups today on Solana. I only took the second one in the afternoon, but I know Noah and Smutton took the one in the beginning or in the morning. Exactly all of our pieces of confirmation. We see the fair value gap be respected. We see the order block be respected and filled. And then we see the break of structure back down to the downside. It retraced into the fair value gap, closed below it. We took our entries right around there, and we caught the move to the downside, leaking out the lower tire. The sell side draws in liquidity from quite a few weeks back.
That's another thing is look how many, there was multiple confirmations inside of here. That doesn't mean that this is guaranteed to play out, because again, we know nothing's guaranteed in this. We just want good risk to reward, and that will keep you profitable in the longevity of being a day trader. So this just betters our odds inside of a position rather than just trading, let's just say, one thing. And this right here setup had so many confirmations for me. I took very large size due to the fact that we have a liquidity sweep. Now that you guys know what that is, we marked up the highs. Liquidity normally sits at the highs here to fill out all the stop orders. And then, boom, we continue to grab liquidity and move on down. So we have a liquidity sweep. We have a fair value gap. We also have an order block. Like, that's multiple confirmations. This is an A+ setup right here. The odds of this failing are low. They're way lower than any other setup I've traded. That's why I went in pretty heavy here. That's why I'm up $2,000 on the day. It's not because I'm looking for order cocks and that's it. Okay? That's something Jimmy would do, but not everyone here can do that.
Hey!
So, yes, the break of structure video. We kind of already went over that a little bit of break of structure. But these are 2 great examples for you guys to hopefully understand. I didn't even look at these until now, to be honest with you. So like, let's see.
I mean, those are both 2 beautiful textbook setups.
Boom. We get a break of structure.
Again,
Nope, failed.
Well. You see the order block where you have that green line, the bearish move right after you mark the green line. No, left.
Here? Oh, up here?
Left.
Yeah.
Yep. That order block, that push down. Nope, other one.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
Breaker block. Yep. The move down that causes the move up, the break of structure, and then boom, price comes back into it. Quite a few minutes later, respects it, continues lower.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Low key, I was like tripping there, and I was like, "What am I looking at?" But no, we got it. But can you guys? I guess like based on this lesson, right now, and I know I kind of took it lighthearted. I didn't have a slideshow all figured out because there's not much you can do with this. I mean, it's pretty much just like look at the charts and identify them. But based off of what I've said, if you know what a break of structure is, you can find an order block. Do you guys feel you know enough about break of structure and order block to identify these on a chart? Like, I want to hear from you guys in the chat.
I'm sure you covered it, but just to recap because I missed it, all you need to identify your order block or your breaker block once it inverses is the move prior to the liquidity sweep that breaks structure. That is it.
Okay, so you guys think you can spot these on the charts. One thing I want you guys to all understand is throughout the day, I want you guys to send me setups. If you guys are thinking about taking a trade and you haven't taken it and you're unsure, I told Jamie this, and I told, I think it was like, who was it? Who was it? I forget. Someone else. Before you take a trade, send what you're seeing on the chart, type it out, your idea of what you want, get those little typing fingers going, and send me what you're seeing so that I can give you that confirmation, or Jimmy can, or Smutton, tag all of us, tag one of us, and just get a second pair of eyes so that we can tell you what we see going on in there. And then that's like a double confirmation. I still do this as a trader, and I've been trading for 4 years. I'll go to Smutton and show him my analysis and say, hey man, just want to get a second pair of eyes on this. You know, I feel like I don't really have a good read on the market today. And then he can confirm or deny what my analysis was. So I hope you guys
That's a good
learn
idea to
something.
maybe like find someone in here, pair up with them, or use us. Like this community is a resource for you to utilize, and you have the other set of eyes. Like Noah said, like every time I take a trade, prior to like where I'm looking for entries, I'll send it
Mm-hmm.
to Noah. I'll send it to Smut, and I'm like, okay, do you see what I'm seeing, or is there something that I possibly missed from prior data or overall market sentiment? What am I missing? And if I get the confirmations and we put our heads together, it's I mean, the past few weeks, um, majority of the call outs have played out. Overall, our analysis has been correct. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say 90% of the time up
Yeah,
to this point.
absolutely. And I want to answer your question there, David, about how to identify if it's a break of structure. So a break of structure, we obviously know is it takes the low of the swing lows on an uptrend. On a downtrend, it would be taking the highs, the swing highs. So let's say we mark this out. This has to close below it. So I wanted to kind of just draw it up like this before I showed you. What the heck? Oh, there we go. I wanted to draw it up here so I can show you here. Whoops, freaking love that. Right here, again, we're in an uptrend. We get this. How do I know it's a break of structure? Is it's not this candle. Some people might think it's this candle because the wick is lower than this bottom wick right here. You see what I'm saying? But it's actually this candle right here that I'm on because the candle has to close below the lows. So this didn't close below. So you don't know it's a break of structure until the candle closes. Just because it breaks it like originally, boom, you don't draw your order block because it'll be wrong. It could be wrong. This could have bounced and reversed up right here, and we don't get a break of structure because the candle didn't close below. So the candle has to close below. And where I look on these break of structures, normally I like to identify my setups on the 1 hour, kind of like what we did today. You know, it was right through here. Yeah, right here is where we kind of did our analysis. I wanted to see it push up and kind of short it out of this range or this range. And I drew my green lines of highs where it can sweep liquidity, which we saw right there, a sweep of liquidity. But again, then I go down to the 5 minute to look for my entries once it starts getting close. And this is where I'm identifying. I can even do fair value gaps, like we got one here, which we're going to be going over next boot camp lesson, is how to identify fair value gaps and what is a fair value gap. So I go to the 5 minute to really find my confirmations. So after I look for things on the 1 hour of where I want to see price really push to and set my bias on the day. It's like, what is my overall analysis of the market? Um, Higher time frame fair value gaps and order blocks obviously matter as well. So we're in a downtrend. We're still in a downtrend. Boom, we break the downtrend right here. So what does that mean? There's an order block sitting right here. I don't really use them too much on these higher time frames. Higher time frames, I really most of the time only set my highs. I go to the 1 hour and I set my highs of yesterday or just swings. So that's why I had this high drawn. There also is a fair value gap here right above it, which also created an order block on the 5 minute. So then I would go down to the 5 minute and look for my proper entries and look for more confirmations for me to take this trade. I want the charts to force me to take a trade. Like so many confirmations in one trade that I'm like, oh my gosh, I would be stupid not to trade this. Not, oh, I'm tilting my head looking at it like, this looks kind of good. I could see this working out. Like those are the ones we're trying to eliminate. And yes, I take those. I have to be completely honest with you. I still take those because we're all human at the end of the day. We're all human. We're not in freaking robot like Elon Musk that literally never makes a mistake, does all the math in their head that's so freaking quick in seconds. Like that's just not who we are. We're human. We're gonna make mistakes, but those are the things we're trying to eliminate when we're trying to trade. I know I got a little off topic on some things about this, but that's just kind of on my mind. Like as I teach, things pop up that I really think are key things to understand as a trader. Overall, I want you guys to let me know what you think about this lesson because I'm struggling to understand if you guys understand it. If I pull you guys up on stage and we go back, who would be confident enough to point out where order blocks are and order blocks aren't?
The one thing I want to answer, Jamie said, my question would be where to take the entry, right? So you have to use each key piece of the puzzle or confirmations or pieces of conviction. What are these pieces of confirmation? Oh, well, before I answer that, can anybody name them? Can anybody name what our, let me just count, our 4 pieces of confirmation would be?
I'm
If
raising my
not
hand
5.
in real life if you can't see.
Bonus points 5, but ideally the 4 crucial ones. Can anybody name them?
We haven't taught one. Or
We haven't taught one.
No, is there 2? Have we taught?
I think we've taught just about all up till this point. I know
Have
fair
we?
value gaps
Okay.
before we started, like the whole boot camp kind of style. Fair value gap, breaker structure, order block, liquidity sweep. Bang, 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 bang.
Bang,
Jamie,
bang.
let's go. Fair value gap. All right, Jamie hit the freaking nail on the head.
Did.
You want to see price respect your fair value gap or inverse fair value gap. You want to see price respect, or you want to see price respect your order block or your breaker block. You want to see price sweep liquidity. And then you want to see price break structure back down to whatever area you are looking for it to go. Like we saw in the 2 setups today, textbook. We saw it respect our higher time frame 1 hour and 4 hour fair value gaps. We see it sweep the liquidity where he has drawn out in green. You see it break structure to the downside like the example we just showed. Each piece of our conviction or each piece of our confirmation was within both of these setups that we took today, and that is why they both played out to the T. Now, is it going to work 100% of the time? No, but it works. As you can see, I'd be confident enough to say, maybe 80% of the time. And that's all that price does is you have to look at these charts like an institution or a big hedge fund that's got millions of dollars to trade with, not like someone that's going to go trade a bullish flag or a triple top upside down butthole whatever. You know what I mean? Like there's so many crappy setups that you'll see on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok, like, oh, look at this candlestick pattern, and there's a reason that these guys get stopped out and can't post real winners or do this live. But like you said, fair value gap, break of structure, order block or breaker block, and liquidity sweep. If you see all those, it would be silly to not take that setup.
Yeah, I agree. But all right, I'm going to end the YouTube just for the video. I'm going to cut it. We can continue to stay on and answer questions. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to join the Discord so that you guys can have all your questions answered. And you can see me being a goofball with autism every single night. But all right, guys. Peace.